Well, what else is there left to do? What else is there left to do? It's about remembering, it's about talking about, telling the truth about terrible events. And at this point, it's like, yeah, what else is there left to do? Welcome back to the recovery room of racism non-anonymous, because it's not a secret, not in the lives of African descendants. And it certainly seems that many European descendants have awakened to the fact that the whole system of racism, white supreme lunacy, even though it was developed and designed to support the suppression of African spirit and the African culture, through active exploitation, capitalization, and the like, what it seems they really fail to recognize or consider is the damage that it does to them and to white people, the developers, the sustainers of this system. Excuse me, it seems like I went to turn that down before and I found it wasn't too loud. It didn't compete with me on the video, yet as I'm hearing it, I'm having a desire to talk louder. So there's a part of me that wants to go and tap it down a little, but then I know that you won't hear it as well. It's always interesting that when I'm talking about whatever topic, as the music is playing on the rotation, a song will come up that supports the message that I'm talking about. No, we can't run. I do need to just turn it down just a tad because I'm competing with myself. So, yeah, the damage that, but the thing I was thinking as I started to say that is in the European culture and in their mind, it certainly means nothing to them that many of their people, white people, are also negatively affected and influenced by the system that white people have created to harm people of African descent. Because as they say, they're always sort of quote unquote casualties in war, and that's just sort of the price that they are willing to pay, that you have to lose in order to sort of gain. It's that seeming concept. I went into all of that because in the last, yesterday I saw a video and a story where the government is beginning to focus on and sort of crack down on sovereign folks who have obtained sovereignty and sovereign status. There's growing concern about people who work towards establishing sovereignty based on the historic laws of this land that are on paper yet not actively upheld. A lot of times there are many laws on the books that we are not able to enact towards their intent, beneficial intent, because you don't even know that the law exists. This lighting seems weird right here. That not a whole lot better, and I had my little rebellious lock, but I looked at the screen. It's like, lighting kind of looks weird. Let's see how that does. That might be a little better. Anyway, there's a congressman whose son was murdered. His son was a police officer, and he was murdered by another white man who had established sovereignty. Another white man and his son actually did the open fire shooting. Yet there are many people of European descent, white men, who, like people of African descent who are just beginning to discover, well, the Moors have always known and worked towards sovereignty and understanding the laws regarding sovereignty and how to force the enactment of them or work to force the enactment. One, it was interesting to me that there were so many white men who had to actually force the enactment and become sovereign citizens within sovereign citizens or whatever within this nation, so that they don't have a birth certificate, they don't have a social security card, they don't have a driver's license, they do not participate, and they they're described as, being anti-government, and there's growing concern that their behaviors have become increasingly violent. And that because they are sovereign citizens, when stopped by the police in particular, they do not have to respond to and respect and recognize the laws of this land and the power and authority of the police, because they are sovereign and separate from the system, the police as a representative of the system. And as a result, when stopped by the police, they have been becoming increasingly violent. And these two, it was a video clip, and it showed you the white man and his son. They just kind of like opened fire on the cops and killed both of them in a routine sort of traffic stop. So now there's this focus within Congress and so forth, because it was a congressman's son, with really cracking down on people who are active in their quest for sovereignty from this government in this situation. When the government behaves in such a rogue fashion as this current government is doing, and not just the current administration, it's been the current government in of America. As this has become, it's always been rogue for a life of African descent, because it was developed to cause harm to us. Yet now it is just like blatant and run amok, and it's just affected more white people in a way that white people, some who work to uphold the original laws, are sort of being used as pawns and just caught in the crossfires. It's really difficult with this limited amount of time, because now I'm back to 10-minute YouTube time, not because of YouTube, but because of the cam I'm using that will only upload to YouTube if it's 10 minutes under. So I'm like beginning to feel a sense of pressure in terms of wonder how much time I have actually been talking right now, because I didn't get to the article that I just read that really is like alarm. It's like, oh, so they did that yesterday. The day though they made the Supreme Court passed 8-1 decision that giving police the authority to, if they driving by or your home and they think they smell marijuana, that gives them cause for automatic and immediate break-in. If they think they hear people running around in the house to hide evidence, they can bust into your house and, move into their full shit to capture you if they think they smell marijuana in your house. So it's like, it's on. It's like, just all out. It's just all out war on, the peoples of this country and nation. They're falling, and they're going to take as many as they can. But, and even though we know that this American system is falling, we also know that they have been planning for their phoenix rising out of the ashes of this shit that they created and burned down. And, the questions that many African descendants have and work to have is like, how are we going to come up out of this? How will we emerge? Will we? And if so, how? Because it is certainly on its way out, and it's getting ready to get real ugly. Anytime they can think they smell marijuana and then bust into your house, and the Obama administration and his appointees, one woman, I think, of African descent whose formative years was in the hood, in the projects, in the Bronx, could support shit like this, it's like, boy, it's getting ready to be real ugly. So I don't know, it's kind of like I say, I see you on the other side, and when we reconnect spiritually or something, because this is just bad.